Hi, so I want to talk about NLP. What? Okay, NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Okay, so this is something that I have been trained in by people such as Dr. John Grinder and Michael Carroll and Carmen Bostic Sinclair, and the training staff of those trainings that I was on many years ago. And these are the top people that you can be trained from. If your perception of top is one of the co-founders. There's other people who invented NLP, such as Dr. Richard Bandler, and there's another guy, Frank Pucelik, who was in the background a bit, and sort of they went their separate ways. But so then there was two people who were key in this. So what is neuro-linguistic programming? Well, it's very attached to hypnosis, and we've talked about hypnosis before, specifically Ericksonian hypnosis, and I talked about NLP a little bit there too. But basically what it is it's a way of understanding how the mind works, and it's got a lot of shit in the past, mainly from, and this is maybe what the point of this video is, mainly from the psychology politics, in that they think that it's a pseudoscience and not a real therapy. Well, I have to say that, like everything in life, you can take your pick of anything that you study, and you can grab what works and what doesn't work. So, for example, neuro-linguistic programming has got a bit of grief, if that's the right word, for being concerned with IQs. Whether if you look up, to the sides, down, it's determining whether you're using your visual, your auditory, or your feeling sensory makeup, and then depending on which way you look, whether it's left, right, you can work out whether someone is accessing imagination, or what people might say is lying, or actual real life situations. I mean, look, sometimes people believe their imagination, for a start, okay? And two, I don't use them, and not everyone's the same. And this is something that Dr. John Grinder himself said, in his training. Everyone's different, everyone's wired a bit different. But the thing to take away that I think is key is the fact that what you're doing by focusing on eyes and where they're going is really what you're doing is assimilating with them. You're assimilating with the client. Okay, so imagine if I'm coaching or in a hypnosis session with a client, what I'm doing is I'm looking at them and I'm reading them and I'm understanding them from their own point of view. I'm trying to join with their subjective reality. Now, I've talked about this before, but this is what we're doing. And so I will see patterns, but but what I won't do is I won't say that this person is lying because they looked up and to the right or up and to the left. That's not the point, and it doesn't matter. This is like pernickety nonsense, because the only thing that really matters is me joining their reality, so I understand them, so I understand how they are affected, how they see the world, and how I can manipulate them in a good way so that they are free from pain. Okay? And the other thing that there is a problem with, or at least NLP has had a bit of an issue with from people, a critique, is that it's not based on empirical evidence. Okay, the problem with empirical evidence is that it's flawed in and of itself. Empirical evidence, or empiricism, is the idea that one thing has to work for everything, It has to work for the majority, and then you can say this is scientific proof, this is scientific fact. Okay? However, the problem is that there's so many variables in that it's almost impossible to get scientific proof of a lot of things to do with change work, because everyone's different. Sure, we're all human beings. Sure, we all have, well, the majority of us have 2 arms, 2 hands, if we're all lucky and we're, healthy. But we're talking about mind stuff, and people have had different experiences. People have different temperaments, people have different psychologies, personalities, character, cultural backgrounds, the list goes on and on, genetics, the whole thing. So, yeah, change work and empirical evidence, it's almost impossible. But what does work is joining people's subjective reality and working with them on their own terms initially, and then leading them into a way that they can understand, because you're speaking their language. Okay? And that's how NLP is great, because it shows, it's a training that that if utilized with Ericksonian hypnosis, if utilized even better with generative coaching from Dr. Stephen Gilligan, it's amazing, because you start seeing the context of how all these things overlap, and how, although separate and different and with different perspectives and different focuses or foci, they can all work together, and it's great. With NLP specifically, there's a lot of frameworks and a lot of routines that you can do, which maybe initially lack some things. Maybe they lack a bit of depth. I always think that NLP without hypnosis, although hypnosis is to a certain extent taught on an NLP course, it depends on the course, there's so many different courses, but hypnosis adds to the depth of NLP, and then if you've got generative coaching and you add that too, that gets even more deep. It's like I would say, for me personally, from my own subjective reality, is if you've got a colouring book, okay? NLP is like the sketches when you've got a picture of a flower or a tree or we're here right now, so it's always going to influence this video. You've got the black and white, you've got the structure of the picture. That's like the NLP. Yeah, you've got the black and white, you've got the lines, and it's quite specific, okay? And then with hypnosis, you add in a bit of color, right? And then with the generative coaching, you're adding in like a lot of color, like another level of color. We're talking about I don't know much about color, but 3D pixel kind of sparkling stuff. It's like moving kind of stuff, That's the way I see NLP for me. Okay. Also with NLP, there's different types of NLP, and of course that depends upon who you are trained with. And I don't know about everyone else, but I know with Dr. John Grinder, he has 2 different types. He's got the classical type, which everyone sort of knows, well, if you know anything about NLP. And then he came up with new Code NLP, which is great. But that's to do with high performance states and playing specific games, which are basically interactive coaching tools, utilizing all the senses together to unhinge any negative states of mind in specific situations, and then what's the word? Exchanging them with a high performance state, so you're in flow, and it's great. It's like imagine having like this feeling of like, I don't know if you guys go to clubs, you know, you're dancing and you feel that euphoria and you're just like, oh, you know, and I'm not talking about getting high or anything like that, but at the same time, this is a natural high. You know, like imagine you're playing a game. Like I remember one time when I was a bit of a sportsman at school, there was points when I'd be playing rugby when I'd score a try, and it wouldn't happen very often. So I get this high, you know, or you've just gone into like a thing and you've played a play of, and it's just you get so high from that because you're in the moment, you're in flow. That is what high performance states are, or what a high performance state is, and that is the kind of feeling that you can access with new Code NLP coaching. And put in the context of Breakup Resilience, this is the kind of feelings you want to have. You get rid of the negative mindset that you might be in right now, or that you sometimes go into, because I don't know what you're feeling right now, but hopefully you're feeling more interested in high performance states, which is more interesting and fun. And this is what we're doing. Well, this is what I'm doing as a Breakup Resilience coach here at Breakup Resilience in Kiev and wherever, because we can do this online as well. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about that, and hopefully there's some information there for you. If you like this video for some reason, hit a like button. If you are interested in seeing more videos and want to get updated, please hit the subscribe button, because this also helps the algorithm on YouTube, which helps other people see me. It helps me help other people. It's like a cyclical thing. Happy days. If you need any help, go to the website. All these links are down below. And yeah, I'm also interested in hearing some questions, because I'm also doing a video newsletter and asking, trying to work out people's specific situations and answering them. So yeah, that's about that. Okay, have a good day. Bye.